If there is one overlooked aspect of Rise of Kingdoms when it comes to fighting other players, battle preparation is certainly number one on that list. Today, I'll be telling you all about how to prepare for a battle, because if you prepare correctly, you can improve your trades by up to 20%. It is insane how much being prepared for battle correctly actually does change. If you want to be able to trade better or reaffirm that you are preparing the right way for battle, then make sure that you check out this video. So let's start off with just what is battle preparation. I think it's fairly self-explanatory in the name, but just as a quick rundown what it is, preparing yourself for battle basically. What you do before you even touch someone else's troops, before you even join a rally, fill a flag. There are a lot of things you can do to just straight up improve your trades. So let's start off with the very obvious stuff. First of all, make sure you're in an alliance. That may sound very obvious, but I've accidentally gone to battle a few times when I've just left an alliance and started fighting. I'm like, oh wait, I'm not in an alliance. That would make a lot of sense to join an alliance. So joining an alliance is key if you want to battle correctly. Make sure you are in an alliance. No matter how small they are, if they have territory, A, you're going to be safer, and B, you will benefit from alliance technologies and being able to access any buildings they have access to, plus flags and other cities are really, really good. Next, make sure you collect a rune. Runes are very, very, very powerful, and the most important runes, in my opinion, would be a march speed or a health rune. I think defense runes are very good, but they're not as good as having a march speed rune, in my opinion. Same with attack runes. March speed is actually very underlooked, and for a rune, especially a march speed plus attack rune, is really good. You have 7% more march speed, you have 7% attack. Having a 10 or 15% march speed rune, I forget how high it is also really nice, because if you can chase someone down, you are going to trade better. If you can get away from people, you're going to trade better. So I feel like march speed is certainly an overlooked stat, because if you think about it, warfare in real life, if you have maneuverability, you are going to be able to destroy your opponents. And march speed in Rise of Kingdoms is very similar. If you can maneuver your troops, especially in open field combat, in a correct and efficient manner, you are going to trade better. Very simple. And then health runes are really good because health is the current best common stat. And then you'll go defense and attack in that order. So make sure you try and get health or march speed runes as soon as you can. If you have max crystal tech though, march speed isn't as important to you because you do have a lot more march speed from your crystal tech. And in that situation, I would rather get a health or defense rune. But for most low spenders, free-to-plays, players like myself, you are going to want a march speed rune, because otherwise you're not going to be able to get away from combat. You don't have the extra 30% march speed that some players have. Next up, to improve your trades by even a little bit more, get the newspaper. It gives you free stats, whether that be infantry, archer, cavalry stats. Sometimes it's only barb damage, but if you are battling and you get even 2% of stats, it's amazing. Rally troops damage is really good, so make sure if you're a rally leader or a garrison, you definitely get the newspaper. Don't worry about the 1000 gold, it will not end your life. Next, ensure your gear is on your correct marches. If you're about to go into battle and maybe you've been barbing or it's been off-season for quite a while, make sure all your primary commanders are geared up and ready. You could do this on the day before, it doesn't matter. As long as your commanders are geared correctly, you are going to be fine, because gear actually makes a big difference. All of these stats, if they were missing, my march wouldn't be trading nearly as good. So having the right gear on your commanders is important. Sometimes you may be barbing, you may be doing Cow Kurak or the Crystal Kurak, maybe you're rallying, and your gear will get mixed up between all your marches. But make sure if you're going to go especially out with your whole murder ball, make sure that you have all your gear on the correct marches. And the same goes for armaments, because now that we've got armaments, they are also very important. So make sure your armaments and formations are correct. Usually, as long as you've got some type of armament, no matter how small the buff may seem, it's going to be better than having nothing. So try and have anything on your marches by the time you start fighting, whether it be small or big. And make sure that if you do have set formations for most of your commanders, you do know which armaments are for those formations, and that if you swap them, you can swap them right back. There is kind of an auto switch feature with armaments. I'll just show you real quick. If I go to my Henry and I go down over here, you can see it saved his old armaments. And then if I go back here, it would keep these ones. I'm not going to switch because they're on my Boudica, but you'll see that if I were to switch with my Henry, he'll switch to his other set of armaments, and then if I switch back, he'll switch back to this set. It's kind of like an auto switch feature that Lilith didn't really mention, and I think they're going to make it a little bit more user-friendly in the future because they did say that. But for now, make sure you manually change your armaments to be in the correct positions on the correct commanders. Another thing to ensure that is correct, it is your march, I like to call loadouts. Make sure your loadouts are very, very, very organized and you know what each one does. Make sure you know basically what commanders are behind each march loadout, especially for your battle marches. Not as important for your barbarian marches, But if you are doing battle, you want to make sure you know what's behind each number. If I want a city pop, I'm probably not going to pop out with my march that's going to fill flags. I would rather pop out with my march that's going to deal damage. Maybe my Henry's Yulang, or my Boudica, or even my Boudica's Yulang. So you can see my marches are very organized in a efficient manner. All my red marches are my battle marches. My yellow are like my Crystal Kurak, my Silk Road, Protect the Supplies. I use yellow marches. And then these blue ones are all barbarians. Very organized for me. I understand what my marches mean because I've been playing with this exact loadout since the beginning. So if you don't have an organized loadout, make sure you just organize it now. I would recommend organizing it based on whichever commander you unlocked first. So I unlocked Boudica as my first primary. She's going to be number 1. Henry was my second. He's going to be number 2. Nebula was my third. He's going to be number 3. And it really allows just me personally to understand which marches are where. Also, a tip with marches you may see, it says 750,000 units. And you may be like, that is stupid. How the hell do you do that? So to save up to 750,000 units, you go to your expedition and any of these garrison quests. It doesn't matter which one, whether it be this one or whether it be any of the other ones. You just click the quest, you click challenge, obviously, and then go up to this little shield emblem. Make sure the commanders you want to use are not on these plus symbols, and then go up here, select your primary, select your secondary, and you'll have 750,000 units. And if you save it, it will say that you saved it as 750,000 units. This means if you get any boost to your troop capacity, your marches will instantly cater up to that. Because before, let's say, maybe you had 200,000 troops and you get a 25% expansion, which should take you up to like 250,000. Well then, you'll be stuck at 200k troops on your instant load until you save it again. But if you have it at 750k troops, no matter how big your expansion is, it will instantly go up to that many troops. That means you can effectively pop out of your city, you can effectively send your marches out in a quick and short period of time. It is really, really good. Also, I think city skins are important. Make sure you've got the correct city skin on. If you don't have a city skin on, you are losing out on a lot of buffs. I know it may seem like, oh, but I'm losing some stats as well. Unless you are a complete jack of all trades and every single one of your marches trades completely equally, you are going to want to have some form of city skin. I am about 99% sure every player here has some type of gear differentiation between their marches. That means some marches have better gear, some have worse. Then you are going to want to choose a city skin, possibly that benefits your marches with worse gear, or benefits your marches with better gear. It depends and it's all up to you. Then make sure you pop your boosts. Boosts are really, really easy to get, and they're a great way to improve your trades by a lot. If you fight someone who's running a 50% expansion and you're not running a 50% expansion, you're going to trade way worse. There is no way around that. Also, running defense and attack boosts are really good. And even a basic army expansion, very easy to get. You can purchase those for like alliance credits. Even attack boost can be purchased for alliance credits as well. Just sell Ethelflaed sculptures, anything like that. Great way to get instant alliance credits. And then just ask an R4, possibly to put 1 or 2 of these into the shop for you so you can purchase them. So right now with the Arc of Osiris going on, whenever you do Arc, you should earn Osiris coins for Season 7. And in the shop, there are 10 advanced army expansions. That's like 45, 70,000 gems worth of advanced army expansions. They're cheaper than the gold heads, and they're by far and away the best value in this whole entire Osiris shop. Buy all of them. Trust me, you're going to use them. I've used almost all of mine from the last season, and they are really, really good value. You will use them on the field. Don't buy these attacks here or these enhanced defenses. You can get them for much cheaper from events like Mightiest Governor, people who purchase chests, stuff like that are much better to get these, but buying these advanced army expansions, really, really good value. There is also the purple versions of the attack and advanced army expansions. These are like the tier above, and instead of giving you 5% of stats, these ones give you 10% of stats. And if you know you're going to a really, really big battle, then you get these. Otherwise, they're not that good of a value unless you're a big whale, and they do cost a fair amount of gems for most of us lower spending players. 750 gems for 10 of these, that's 7,500, is a fair amount of gems. So make sure that if you are using these, it's on a very justified occasion. Maybe your Kingsline battle, maybe you know you're going to be on for a lot of the day, maybe you will be fighting for like 16, 12 hours, whatever. You want to have one of these on. If not, maybe you're going to fight for like 6, 7 hours, then I wouldn't really get an enhanced defense. They're not really worth the gems in that situation. Just use your normal 5% 24-hour or normal 5% 8-hour boost. Then make sure you have the right civilization. Really easy to do. Get a civ change possibly. Maybe don't even change your civilization. I rarely change my civilization. I know you're supposed to use Germany in the off-season, but it doesn't change that much for me. I don't barb that much. Like, I will use my action points, but I'm not going to log on to use the extra 10%. And I won't really benefit from troop training speed of 5%. So for me, I just stick with the same civilization. Here are the best civilizations for the field in a nutshell. Archers, Ottoman Empire. Cavalry, I really like Byzantium. You could also consider Germany, just sticking with them because of their buffs. And then, for most players who are running infantry, you either get Vikings or France. Very simple, those are the best civilizations. If you're running a jack of all trades, you get Ottoman Empire once again, because they just have a bunch of buffs to like everything to do with the field. Then if you have any gold heads before you go into a battle that you can use on a commander to get their next skill, use them. Let's say I'm about to enter battle and I had 75 gold heads, I would use them to get the next skill on ZHUGE because I'm going to use him. I know he's going to be a good investment in the future because I decided to take him up to a higher level. And then I'll just use the gold heads. Make sure you have used all your gold heads. And even the same can be said with materials. Before you go into a battle, if you want to do crafting, do crafting. You may as well craft the stuff that you're going to use in the battle before you actually get into the battle. So let's say right now I wanted to make Dragon Breath Tassets and I had the materials, I would make Dragon Breath Tassets. Super simple, and it's also going to improve your trades, having that extra equipment at your disposal at an earlier time period. The final preparation tip is just make sure your crystal tech is in order. Make sure that if you have any crystals left, they go straight to damage technology. I wouldn't really focus too much on your economic technology if you know you're about to enter a battle. Just put everything into dealing damage, dealing more damage, taking less damage, increasing troop capacity, getting more march speed. That's a really, really good way to use it. Getting more all damage. Stuff like that, very important. Make sure your crystals are going to that before you enter into a battle. I would say you stop focusing on your economic tech 2-3 days before you enter a major battle, just so you can start to put your extra crystals into all of your damaging technologies. Now here's a few quick tips for the field I thought I'd quickly point out. First of all, try and move with your group. I wouldn't recommend really going off alone unless you're a big whale. Most players, if you're running 3 marches, there's going to be a bigger fish in the water who's running 6 or 7 marches, and they're just going to melt you. So try and stick with the group. The group is always going to be stronger than going by yourself alone, maybe to kill farmers, or maybe to try and ambush the enemy. Sometimes you get really good trades, other times you get absolutely annihilated and it's not worth it at all. Also, if you feel a bit overwhelmed on the field or you just want to kick back and relax a little bit, maybe you don't want to be too high stress, you don't really want to trade as bad, maybe you're trading a little bit bad right now because your head's just not in the zone, because that can happen. I have that personally. What I like to do is cut my marches back. Maybe I'm running 3 marches, I cut it back to like 2 marches, 1 march, and I just micromanage the hell out of that march. I know when the enemies are moving. I don't have my marches swinging around enemies, because if I were to say swarm this resource node with 3 marches, one of the marches is going to end up behind the node or on the side or closer to a city. But with 1 march, I know exactly where it's going to hit all the time. So if I'm hitting with that 1 march, I know where it's going to hit. I know who could pop out of their city. I know all the escape routes for that 1 march because I can jump through cities, jump through resource nodes, jump through flags. It allows me to really micromanage that 1 march. Also, usually you have a march that just has better equipment than your other marches or better commanders, and maybe you just mix your best commanders together. Personally, my Boudica and ZHUGE are split up, but they're my 2 best commanders, so if I want to micromanage, I put Boudica and I put ZHUGE together. Killer trades when I'm micromanaging. I can show you a couple of reports right now. I was just doing this before recording because I was using my iPad. I just wanted to sit down and play a bit of ROK. Crazy trades. I was just micromanaging a little bit. These trades are really good. I just sat back, kicked my feet up, and I was just moving my march around, trying to dodge the enemies. I knew exactly where I was going to hit, when I was going to hit, where the enemies were coming from. Super simple to control 1 march. Not as easy to control 3, 4, 5 marches, but with 1 march, it's really good. And I like doing this when I just want to relax, just get some kills, relax, chat with people maybe I'm Discord chatting, stuff like that. I really like micromanaging. And then my final tip for the field, and this may be a bit cliche, just have fun. In the end of the day, you could be trading like absolute garbage. Maybe your enemies are getting 1 to 10 trades on you. But if you're enjoying it, go for it. This is a game at the end of the day. If you want to kill all your troops in the field, I don't recommend it. But if you really want to, go for it. If that's what you find fun, just do it. That's my personal opinion at the end of the day. Maybe you don't care about all the stuff I'm saying. Maybe you don't care if you don't have a boost on. You don't care if your commanders aren't exactly in the best order. Just have fun at the end of the day. This is a video game, and you may as well be having fun, not treating it like it's some job, and if your troops die, or if you get a bad trade, it's the end of the world. Now on that high note, I just want to say that tomorrow, I will be streaming my past 6 battle if the enemies show up, okay? We don't have a guarantee that they will fight, but if they fight their way out of this pass, I will be there streaming it 100%. And the stream will start at 22 UTC, 23 UTC. So if you want to check it out, it will be in the link in the description. It will also be in my community post, my Discord server, and on the 2365 Discord server for anyone in our kingdom. So if you want to be there on the live stream, maybe come support me, chat with fellow channel members, feel free to check it out. It is always a chill vibe when I stream, and I finally got permission from the kingdom management to actually stream our battles. Now, I do want to say thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.